like, oh my God.
On that note, we'll go back to that topic because I went to the ECWA girls tournament show the other night, so I want to tell you about that. And there was a lot of those moments that we can talk about. So, but our first guest is on the line, so let's get ready. Here she is. She is the one and only, the lady in red, and it's a long time coming for this opportunity. Laura Madsen. What's going on there, Laura?
Hey, how are you? I was so looking forward to today. Thank you for having me on your show.
Oh, thank you. I've been waiting so long for this. I'm glad we finally happened.
Me too. It's great. And your timing was perfect because I have a couple different things going on right now that are brand new.
You do. Like, you are, I mean, you truly are, and I said this in the pre-talk up, like, you're the definition of totally driven. Like, you got your toe dipped in every aspect of the world of entertainment.
It's fun that way. You know, I never get bored.
This is true. Now, before we get into it, I got to ask a couple goofy questions, shall we say. So,
sure.
I know from your post, my fellow Italians this question all the time, and being yours, also from the East Coast. Is it gravy or sauce?
You're going to put me really on the spot with that question, aren't you? I would say that it's probably sauce, because I associate gravy more with, like, brown gravy, but I'm only 25% Italian, so you can only be 25% mad at me for saying that if it's wrong.
See, now that's a good answer. Because in my house it's gravy. So,
all right. Well, 75% of you can still love me, so that's good.
There you go. Do you have your margarita ready?
Well, does a glass of wine count? I'm usually a wine with dinner type of girl, so hopefully we can sub that in real quick.
That works. Now, how about every morning? So as I wake up in the morning and I'm sitting there and I'm scrolling through social media, one of the first things I always see is your post. And you put out these little drawings every day. Do you draw all those?
I draw some. Some are from various artists, and I create every meme, though. I create every graphic, a composite of a quote, a saying, somebody's feelings, my feelings, although when I post these memes, they don't pertain to me personally, like anything going in my life. I'm not vague booking or anything like that. But yeah, I do some of the illustrations myself.
Cool. Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, is she sitting there like drawing each one of these every morning? And especially now that you're like out in New Mexico, I'm like, she's up way too early to be doing this stuff.
Well, I have a lot in my arsenal. I pre-plan posts. So some mornings I'm sleeping pretty late, and all I have to do is, while I'm sipping coffee, pull from my pre-drawn, pre-created selections of things. So, yeah, I am a little bit ahead of the game.
Now, speaking of New Mexico, I mean, that was a big thing. You recently moved out there. Like, what happened there? Like, why leave the East Coast?
Well, I'm a warm weather girl. I could live in summer year-round. I've always felt that way, and I was born and raised in New Jersey, and the first opportunity I had to move to a warmer climate, I took it. So my daughter and I, February, not this past one, but in 2018, we took a drive throughout the Southwest together, and I already kind of knew I fell in love with Arizona, and I love even Utah, Nevada, New Mexico, but we were searching for a place to really hang our hats. And when we drove through New Mexico, we completely fell in love with the climate, the people, the environment, just no traffic, no cold weather, a really nice, affordable cost of living, and it just called to us. So we moved out here last August, and I hop on planes like people hop in cars pretty much now.
Now, how about was your daughter scared to do the move? I mean, with school or whatever? Or?
Well, it all kind of came together. It was one of those fateful events where she really wanted to start homeschool.
Okay.
She's an actress, and the way the New Jersey school systems kind of went, I would say, in the past 10 years is that if you even had a real reason, like you were sick with the flu and you missed more than 5 days of school, they would give parents phone calls and hard times, even if your child was a straight A student. And I travel a lot for work. And it's just me and her, and, you know, it's hard sometimes. You know, you want to be able to take your kids with you. You don't want to just leave them all the time. So it just kind of worked out. She does, I would say, I'm not her teacher. It's an online accredited program that she uses. It's the same program that a lot of child actors and Olympic athletes actually use because their schedules are so varied. So she's adjusted really well, and now she has the opportunity to travel and go to lots of places with me, and that's a different kind of education.
Absolutely. That's actually a better education, I think.
Real life, right? You have to have a little real life, not just all from a computer screen, I think.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, you know, it's funny because my youngest daughter, she turns 15 this weekend. And we talk to her all the time about, you sure you don't want to do homeschool? You sure you don't want to do homeschool? Because there's always like some type of drama going. She had a drama going on with a teacher this past couple months, and then she came home yesterday, and there's like now drama with the security guards in school going on. We're like, what? Like, why don't you want to do homeschool? She's like, I don't want to do it. I want to hang out with my friends. I'm like, all right, like, you know, you can see your friends.
The social aspect is really important, and, you know, we've tried to make up for it in different ways. You know, like she does gymnastics. There are other kids in the area that are part of homeschool groups, and she goes to them. And, you know, there are ways to get around it. And now with, like, FaceTime and all of that, she's still in touch with friends that she had back in New Jersey, which is great.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, yeah, it's fortunate for us that everything was really smooth, you know, with our relocation and her adjustment to homeschool. We're very happy right now.
That's cool. Congrats, man. Congrats. Now, and also, too, you were actually certified to be a teacher?
Yes. Not many people know that. Wow. You did your homework on me.
I do my homework.
Yeah, I'm a kindergarten through 8th grade certified, yes. And so it was more of a timing issue in my life. I got my certification, but I never became a teacher full-time because when I got my certification, I was actually pregnant with my daughter, and nobody really wants to hire somebody that's going to go out on maternity leave in a few months. So I just keep it in my back pocket, you know?
You never know.
That's right. You never know.
So the teacher in you, obviously you're a big supporter of the whole homeschool thing, even the teacher side of you.
Yes, I am. And to be honest, you know, one of the things that was scary for me as a parent, and equally for my daughter, as is I'm sure for many other parents and kids, is that, you know, now they have, like, you know, these drills in school for bomb scares and terrorists, and you know, you never know if something's real or fake. And unfortunately, it you know, that was just like one more thing that played on my mind and her mind about, you know, the type of environment she was in. And so we're fortunate in that she's a very independent worker. She gets good grades. I don't have to constantly, you know, say, get to work, do your schoolwork. You know, she's really good at scheduling the time, and it was a good fit for us. I mean, I'm not saying it's a good fit for everyone, but it's nice to have the option there.
Absolutely. That's awesome. Now, you know what's scary is, like, so I was sitting there and I'm going through like your whole IMDb today, and I'm going through all the pictures, and I'm like, all these pictures I'm seeing of you at show or theater, I'm like, yeah, I was there, and I never saw you. I'm like, how can this be? Like, I was there for like all these different show or theaters that I see pictures of you at. I'm like, how come I never saw Laura? Like, how could this be?
I wasn't able to go to Chiller this past October because I was in the middle of a lot of travel and settling into my new home. And actually, I have a commitment coming up this April as well. But I love Chiller. I love everyone there that runs it. I felt like I was so lucky to be asked to do Chiller, and I'd go back in a heartbeat, It's just a matter of me and scheduling and getting out there to do it again. But yeah, it's one of my favorite Comic-Cons to do, if you want to call it a Comic-Con, or I don't even know. I guess it kind of falls into that category, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's definitely, I think, the funnest one to go to. It's a little crazy at times, though.
Yeah. Well, they all are, but it's a lot of fun. It's like a family. After you've done it for a couple of times, it's you get to know the people really, and even the people that just go there, every year or twice a year. It's nice.
It literally starts to become like a reunion every time you go to one.
That's a great way of putting it. I agree with you. Yes.
So now with your different worlds of entertainment here, writer, model, actress, publicist, which one came first?
Which one came first, the chicken or the egg?
Right.
I started off when I was in high school as a writer, just like my passion, my love, and I'm so excited that now I seem to be returning to more of that. And everything kind of snowballed from there, because when I started writing for other publications and newspapers, and people were like, okay, who is this girl? Especially after I got my super big break where I wrote about John Bon Jovi's restaurant over in Red Bank, New Jersey. And all of a sudden everybody's like, who is this chick? Why is she there with him? What's going on? And these wonderful fans of his took a liking to me, and one of them had suggested, why don't you go out on your own, girl? You don't need to be writing for everybody else. And that's what I did. So I have my own media site, theladyinredblog.com. I don't even know. When did I start that? 2012? Yeah, I guess it was 2012 at this point. And people started saying, well, why don't you write about me? And I was like, okay. And then I was asked to go on radio. And my first time on radio was out of a station in Atlantic City. And then people said, hey, you want to go on my show? You want to go on my show? And I started getting bookings for other people in the entertainment industry and kind of fell into doing publicity for some people, actors, models, musicians, you name it. And then I got involved in some acting and modeling myself. And now that I feel like I'm a little bit more focused and centered, I'm like, I want to get back to what I really love even more. Not that I'm abandoning everything else. I mean, I'm a girl. You never know what I've got up my sleeve. You never know what I'm going to do next. But I'm really excited that the timing feels right now for me to go back to my roots of writing.
That's all. It's kind of wild how like everything kind of snowballed and fell into place, and then now that you're going to be going like you said, going back to your roots, the part that's really super beneficial to you is the whole publicity and to be able to market yourself with the writing.
I have to laugh because, I mean, yeah, if I do publicity for other people, it does give me a little bit of advantage, I mean, that's the truth of it. But, I at the same time, I pour my heart and my soul into the work that I do for my clients. And, I work hard. So if that is there for me, if I have good relationships with people in media that I deal with on behalf of the people that I work for, I think it's wonderful that I have a good relationship with them one-on-one as well.
Right. Now, you've recently gone back into the writing, and you released your first children's book that you co-wrote with your daughter.
Yes, I know. People kind of didn't expect that. I really kept that under wraps. But for years, I wanted to write books. And the book that we just published, you can get it on Amazon. It's called Brisk's New Home. It's a children's book. and it's really cute. And I think even grown-ups can appreciate the story, because I know I can sit down. I realized how much I love children's books when I started reading to my daughter when she was little. And I was like, I really like this stuff. I don't have to be reading a 300-page book to show up. I'm like, there are a lot of good stories out there. So, yeah, and we actually have another children's book in the works. Might come out end of 2019, beginning of 2020, if everything goes smoothly. But then I'm going to kind of step away from the co-writing with my daughter, who is 14, and publish some books that are more on the adult level, other things that I've been wanting to write about.
Is this where the lady in red comes in and red hot?
Well, all I could say is that the books that I want to publish with just myself as an author, one of them will be fictional, and one of them will draw on experiences that I've had in my life and, are related to what I do for a living. But that'll come in time. But I loved writing this story. It's actually about our dog. It's called Brisk's New Home, with my daughter, because she is a very strong dialogue writer. And that's not a strength for me. I'm more of the kind of girl, I'll convince you that you need to buy that bridge over there. I get right to the point, and I'm, very, very focused on whatever I'm writing about. But we blended really well together to tell what I'd like to think of as a story about, sometimes there's a bigger plan in place in life than you realize, and some things are just meant to be. And that's right. What this book is about.
But, this is one of them things, too, that'll last with you guys forever. Brisk will always be there forever with you guys now.
That's true. And the cool thing about this is it's truly a family affair. My daughter, my dog, and myself all have a part in this, because we couldn't have written the story without him. Right. And the unique twist is, because you're like, oh, great, this Laura chick wrote a book about a dog. Yeah, her and 5,000 other people out there. But what I liked about the story was that I was actually driving my car in New Jersey one day, and I saw this little Yorkshire Terrier running across the road. And I was like, oh, my God, this cute little dog is going to get hit by a car. So I pulled over on the side of the road, and, I approached her, and she kind of rolls over, and she just wants a belly rub, really cute animal. And I said, okay, she's got a flea collar on her. Let me see if I can find out where she lives. Long story short, I did find her owner, and it explains the adventures of that in the book. And she had just had a litter of puppies several weeks before. And one of those puppies was our dog, Brisk. So that's why I say it's a book about kind of fate and how sometimes things are meant to be, because if I didn't stop for her and try to find out where she lived, I never would have my dog right now.
That's why. Here, honestly, I thought it was about you guys moving to New Mexico and going to the new home.
No, but maybe that's a sequel. No, actually, it's about how, one event led to something bigger that we weren't even really looking for it to happen, and it was just kind of meant to be. And the story is told from the point of view of Brisk's mother dog, where she's determined to find the best home for her little boy, because he couldn't stay there and live in her house. So she sneaks out, and that's her rationale for running across the road and getting involved with me. So we thought it was neat to do, and it was really, every parent shares memorable experiences with their children, but this was a really wonderful experience for me to be able to co-write something with my daughter, and she honestly really helped write it.
That's awesome. Now, it truly seems like your daughter's following in your footsteps. Does it scare you any bit that she wants to be part of the entertainment business? Because, let's face it is kind of scary and crazy.
Well, I I see her being very wise at a very young age, where she can see sharks when they're swimming, which is good, which, lessens my fear that she'll be preyed upon or she'll be fooled into doing something that isn't legit in the industry. She follows in my footsteps maybe a little bit, but she's also very independent and has her own ideas. Like, she's got her own YouTube channel. She wants to eventually write things on her own that have nothing to do with me, So although we're alike in some ways, I can see how she's definitely got, her own, she's figuring out her own way too. And
right.
That's encouraging for me.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So now you also got a movie coming out later this year.
Yeah, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that'll be out later this year. It's called That's Life. It's my first lead role in a feature film, so I was like, wow, this is pretty cool for me. I have my moments too where I jump up and down in my kitchen and and get really excited. And I play the lead female role, Roseanne, who's the girlfriend of the grown middle child, shall we say, of three generations of men that live in the same household. So that statement alone should lead people to think, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine like a grandfather, a father, and a son all under the same roof.
Yeah.
It's a movie that I was very proud to do because the director also wrote the script. His name is Sean Guess, and I know that he poured some very personal elements of his life into that story, and that was nice. That would be nice to be able to portray something for him that meant something to him. So yeah, I'm keeping my fingers crossed on that one coming out. That would be great if other people can see the movie, and me too. I'm going to see it.
Yeah, you want to see, especially that starring role finally.
Yeah, it was nice. And I would say that another movie that people should look out for, it's again, hopefully out later in 2019, is called Shooting Clerks. And that movie, directed by Christopher Downey, is about the making of the 1990s film Clerks, the Kevin Smith
of course.
Big To Do. And
Absolutely.
I had a great time doing publicity for that film. Let me tell you, everybody, original Clerks cast and the current Clerks cast who portrays the original Clerks cast as their younger self, the most amazing people that I've worked with on a set, on, the publicity aspect, everything. I love them all. And I also got to be the poster girl in the beginning film credits, that roll on the screen, and I'm like, oh my God, really? I get to be in a Kevin Smith film? So that's a very surreal thing for me, and that will hopefully be out also later in 2019.
Actually, I saw, again, your IMDb, I saw that you were on an episode of, it said Comic Book Men, so I was trying to find the clip and all, and I came across, it was like I guess a teaser clip for the Shooting Clerks, and it had like Kevin Smith talking about the film and all, and it was showing him in the theater, and he was talking about how as he was watching the movie for the first time at the screening, and they're showing him, he's just like bawling, crying. I was like, oh my God.
Well, let me tell you, because I was there that night, I was part of the publicity, to do about that particular event. That was the first time that Kevin Smith got to see the movie Shooting Clerks, which is about what really was going on while he was making the film Clerks. He hadn't seen it before then, and he was there. Jane Hughes was there. Scott Schiaffo. I mean, like I could go on. Brian O'Halloran, and it was so surreal because here I am. I'm at this event, which I'm helping with publicity for, and I had something to do with, and all of a sudden, the AMC camera crew comes in and Kevin's there, and I'm just like, wow, this is amazing. This is, one of the highlights of my life. And he came back out right after he saw the movie, and he gave his reaction, which is what you had seen on film, and he was so touched. Like he was crying in the theater, you know, and I saw all of it live, and I was like, wow, it was so nice to be a part of something that had touched him so much.
Sure. Now, when you saw that, did you like shed a tear as well? I was ready to.
I had done the first time that I saw the film. Yes. That wasn't the first time that I'd seen Shooting Brooke, though. But yes, I agree with you. It was just, such a story of how everybody who, were close friends and also had worked on this movie, just, the blood, sweat, and tears, the bonds that were formed. I mean, yeah, very, very emotional and funny. I mean, there were plenty of humor in it.
Absolutely. So what do you got planned, like, in the immediate future? I mean, is the big thing right now promoting the book, I would imagine?
Yeah. We're going to start actually on Saturday, April 13th. It's our first book signing here in New Mexico that we have. It's a book reading / signing. It is at the Thomas Brannigan Memorial Library in Las Cruces, New Mexico. It starts at noon. It's, free admission, open to the public. And Manda and I are both going to be there, and we're going to read the story to the children. And it's also during what they call a therapause session, which is where they bring in therapy dogs. And, they're trained to be, like, really nice to the kids. And the kids can pet them and everything like that. So it's that's our first one. And as soon as I get my ducks in line and schedule finalized, I'm going to be announcing more signings on social media. But we will do at least one more in New Mexico. We're going to head to El Paso, Texas, and we're going to go to Los Angeles after that.
Nice.
And I know a lot of people have been asking already, are you going to come to New Jersey? Are you going to come to New York? The answer is yes. We just have to get past some traveling that I need to do for work, which takes place over the summer. And then I am pretty sure we're going to be able to arrange to come out to New Jersey and hopefully New York by the fall.
Awesome. The East Coast missed you.
Well, I miss everybody there too. But, a girl's got to do what a girl's got to do. And like I said, the funny thing is I used to spend so much time sitting in traffic on the roads in New Jersey, New York, and Philly that just as much time now for me to hop on a plane and go somewhere. So I just traded in my wheels for wings. That's all.
There you go.
But I did want to tell people, first of all, I said, I'm going to be announcing on social media, for book readings and signings where I'm going to be. I wanted to let people know what my social media stuff is. And also, if you want to get the book Brisk's New Home, okay, you can go through my tweets, you can go through my Facebook posts, whatever. It is on Amazon, and you can order it there. It's hard copy or paperback and ebook, so pick your poison. And you can find me on Twitter at the Laura Madsen. You can find me on Instagram at the Laura Madsen. You can find me on Facebook. Just type in your search little box at the top. You can type in A Lady in Red Who Writes. And the Facebook link, if you want to go to it direct, because everybody knows it's like, www.facebook.com/ it would be The Lady in Red blog, all smushed together.
Boom. Well, Laura, this has been awesome. It's great to finally talk to you.
It is so great. Thank you so very much. And, cheers. I got my wine glass right here.
Very good. I'm excited to hear that. Now, how about, here's something else to show you how far I dug. I saw also, too, when you do radio broadcasts, you're wearing Jimmy Choo shoes. So do you have those on as well?
Does Valentino count? I've got my Valentino shoes on. I wear heels. I got it. All right. Yeah. I wear I whenever I can, except, you know, if people stalk me on Instagram, they're going to be like, you're not wearing heels. No, I don't wear heels in the desert or hiking. But whenever I can, I love my shoes. You will always be able to look at my feet for something really cool, interesting, and that I love.
Awesome. People love it.
Well, I love everybody. So
there you go. Well, Laura, again, thank you so much. And yeah, if that movie's coming out later in the year, we got to do this again.
I would love to. It's been so great. And y'all have a good evening.
You too. Take care. Thanks again.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, there she goes, Laura Madsen, the lady in red. Check her out. She's on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Also, check out the book, Brisk New Home. You can get it on Amazon, and she co-wrote it with her daughter, so check that out. That's awesome. But,
yeah, man, she got a good hustle.
Yeah, and you know, Nick, you said about the whole publicist thing. That I think that's like a huge thing, and she kills two birds with one stone, so she's kind of lucky.
And it's just crazy, though, because, like, I've been looking into publicists for the H's for Heroin book, and, like, even the ones that, like, you've never heard of, want, like, hundreds and hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars. And I'm looking at the price of my book, and I'm like, I'm going to have to sell 3 million of these to pay you. You know what I mean? Like, if I could sell 3 million of them, I wouldn't need you. Like,
Oh, you know what?